Farmers in Nigeria have identified MARUCA insects as their biggest problem in cowpea cultivation. MARUCA's damage to cowpea plants results in a reduction in size and quality of harvest. And even though conventional insecticides can be used to control this pest, they are expensive, their availability to farmers is limited, and because farmers have little or no training on their usage, safety problems arise during application. MARUCA-resistant cowpea seeds have now been developed through public-private partnerships managed by the African Agricultural Technology Foundation, AATF. This particular cowpea variety has been modified through the Bacillus thuringiensis gene, also called the BT gene. The variety has now been identified as the preferred one for farmers in countries like Nigeria, where successful confined field trials on the MARUCA-resistant cowpea have been carried out. On In Focus today, we see how the AATF's MARUCA-resistant cowpea project is bringing solutions to the pod borer pest challenge in Nigeria's cowpea industry. Africa accounts for 65% of the world's cowpea production. The commodity is consumed by over 200 million Africans, and this explains why it has grown on over 12.5 million hectares of land in sub-Saharan Africa. Cowpea is considered the most important food grain legume in the dry savannas of tropical Africa. It is not only rich in quality protein, but is a good source of quality fodder for livestock and provides cash income for farmers as well. But the pod borer, scientifically known as the MARUCA vitrata, a major lepidopteran pest which inflicts severe damage to cowpea crops, remains a threat to yields in Nigeria.
MARUCA, number one, there's no cowpea variety that has a natural cultivar that can resist it. So some others, somehow you can manage to have some resistant varieties. But this MARUCA vitrata is really, let me use the word, a very stubborn pest and very hard for farmers to deal with.
Farmers could lose up to between 70 and 80% of yields when the MARUCA infestation is severe.
This is the damage caused by pod-soaking bugs. It bursts into the pod. And this one is likely even to escape the heavy infestation of those pod-soaking bugs, also causing a lot of damage to cowpea pod. And this one also reduced the yield in the farmer's field.
The African Agricultural Technology Foundation, AATF, has introduced a pod borer resistant cowpea project to boost cowpea production in Nigeria and other countries in sub-Saharan Africa.
So it's meant to increase the productivity of beans by addressing some of the constraints that farmers encounter in the field, specifically the constraint of insect pest attack, which ravages the field.
We have been able to find out the performance of this potentially new variety, which will be grown by farmers. It has a yield advantage of at least double-fold of what is expected with only 2 sprays of insecticide.
Confined field trials for testing the efficacy of the BT gene in controlling MARUCA has been successfully conducted in Nigeria by the Institute of Agricultural Research at the Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria. AgriBiotech visits the trial site to see how the crops are doing. First, we visit the glass house where the BT gene, which confers resistance to the pod, is transferred to allow for improved cowpea varieties in this nursery. And then we move to the field trial site where the genetically modified crops from the glasshouse nursery are planted beside the conventional ones. The scientists here say the difference between the 2 crops become clearer and clearer as they begin to bud.
To my right is the conventional local varieties planted by farmers, which is photosensitive, meaning they don't flower until when the day length is short. So this is a disadvantage, particularly with the prevailing changes in our climate. But when you look at the transgenic line here, they were planted together with this the same day. This flowered, matured, and even has been harvested. So even with the early cessation we experienced this year, you can see this one has escaped the early cessation, and there is not going to be any way we are going to have crop failure here.
Local cowpea farmers are involved in this project. They say the experience here shows that the MARUCA pest can indeed be put at bay without having to spray so much chemicals. They add that these improved cowpea varieties could reduce planting cost, increase yields as well as income.
The number one we have been growing, we've been having a lot of problems along the line, which especially during spraying. We spray up to 7 to 8 times within the season. And then with the new one now that we have seen, it's of more benefit because we have to spray less than that time, and the earliness of the early variety, the new variety, counts a lot because between no time it's almost due, and then you have food for the family.
Akwai wani wake da aka bamu nan muka zo muka shuka, kuma mun hada shi da irin namu local da muke shukawa, kuma gashi a yanayin yadda muke mishi aiki baki daya gashi mun samu wani bambanci. Shi wannan da aka bamu muka shuka daban ya bambanta da wanda muke shukawa.
It is quite interesting to see that the genetically modified variety looks exactly like the organic ones.
Can you tell me the difference? Can you see the difference? Yes, no? No. Because morphologically, the genes has no effect, or this does not alter the morphology of the seed, the morphology of the plant also.
The field trials have been carried out successfully and the crops harvested, but there is no damage to the environment as claimed in some quarters. The land here is now to be used for future confined field trials.
If you look at this land, this is a confined field trial that was started this trial with for almost 9 years now. And look at the soil. Nothing has been changed with the soil. From that 2009 to date, we have been planting these transgenic materials, and nothing changed with it, in terms of the soil quality.
Scientists involved in Nigeria's MARUCA-resistant cowpea project say it has been hugely satisfying.
The cost of producing cowpea, for example, will come down, and so cowpea will be afforded by many more people who are now finding it probably too expensive for them to consume. So, and also the farmers who grow it, they are going to make a lot of margins of close to 25%, or about 25% of margin from the production.
They are positive it could help resource-poor farmers and enhance food and ecological security in Africa.